To national affairs now and the Labor Party conference, where momentum is growing for the party's platform to allow same-sex marriage. Here's political editor Chris Ullman.
Labor is a broad church.
If you wanted a definition of anti-Labor, the idea of selling uranium to India is probably about as close as it gets.
My people in the lower Gulf are in support of uranium.
With many knocking at the door.
80% of the Australian public is against the cruelty in live animal export.
And today the true believers gathered for the 46th conference of Australia's oldest political party.
Welcome to the conference, everyone.
In 2009, Kevin Rudd ensured the party's usually feisty policy jamboree was controversy-free. This time, Julia Gillard says she wants real debate, and she'll get it.
Marriage is between a man and a woman.
I think we should have strong support for same-sex couples.
I think there should be a conscience vote.
The Prime Minister of Australia, the Honourable Julia Gillard.
Delegates, in these coming days, I want us to have a fair dinkum Labor Party conference.
This has been a hard year for the Prime Minister, and her speech acknowledged that. But it also said that perseverance had brought rewards and that tough choices had been made on things like the mining tax. And it wasn't just a speech for the party faithful here, it was aimed at a broader audience, where she claimed that Labor was a party for the future and Labor was the party for growth.
And together, in 2012, we will do much more. In 2012, we will cut taxes, lift family payments and lift the pension.
The Prime Minister highlighted the government's achievements, but her words didn't scale any rhetorical heights as she sought to make Australia and Labor synonymous.
We all know the Labor way, the way of jobs, of growth, of fairness, the way of education, of hard work, of respect, the way of the future. And we meet as a party which knows that the Labor way is the Australian way.
And some of the constructions were a touch bewildering.
This is the Labor way. This is the Australian way. We follow it simply because we are us.
In a sign of the party's priorities, the first debate was about Labor's economic path. The left provided the passion.
But I don't agree with you on some issues. I don't agree with you on some issues, comrade. I don't think we should ever have a surplus fetish, and I'm not saying Wayne has, but we should never have a fetish for a surplus.
But the right had the numbers, cutting down bids to place less weight on returning the budget to surplus and expanding the mining tax.
It is not an accident of fate or geography that Australia has a AAA credit rating. It is not an accident. It's because we have good economic management.
There are 400 conference delegates and the right nominally controls 220. But on some issues the right is split, no more so than on same-sex marriage. The face of the push to amend the party's platform on that is the right-wing Deputy Chief Minister of the ACT.
So what will those words be?
That Labor would amend the Marriage Act to allow a union between two people regardless of their sex.
Change to the platform looks inevitable, despite resistance from the Prime Minister. So the right's rallying around her call for a conscience vote when the battlefield moves to Parliament. But it isn't clear that the right will hold on that either.
It is appropriate that the Labor Party recognises that this is a question which has some unique characteristics, including religious beliefs, and it's appropriate in those circumstances for us to move to a conscience vote.
That vote will be tomorrow's focus, and Sunday's main bout will be the Prime Minister's push to sell uranium to India, a country that won't sign the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty.
Since 2007, the Non-Proliferation Treaty has ceased to be of any practical effect, and there's no point Australia being the only uranium supplier that's not prepared to sell to India.
Being in Japan during the earthquake, the tidal wave, and watching what happened around Fukushima, has really firmed up my view that this is a dangerous thing that we're digging up and shipping overseas, and to be sending it to a non-signatory to the NPT is a significant step. A line in the sand has been drawn and we shouldn't cross it.
Labor says yes to Australia's future. Thank you very much.
Labor meets at a difficult time. It's being snuffed out in state elections, and federally it's struggling with attacks on both its right and left flanks. It needs to regenerate and redefine itself. Some are looking to this conference for proof of life.